Hey y'all. Alright, so what I'm doing today is I'm making apple butter. I've already washed all my apples with soap and water. Just because there might be pesticides or something on there that I do not want. And I'm going to peel all my apples, okay? I'll peel this one and then I'll show y'all how I do it. See, my daughter-in-law loves to eat these right here. She said it's like apple bacon. Okay. Whew. It was raining this morning. Now it's not, and it's kind of hot. I need to cut my air conditioner up, I think. Because it was so chilly this morning. Alright, now, I know what I'm doing. And if you don't, then you need to use a cutting board. Let me get it. Alright, so. I'm going to feed these apple peelings to my rabbits. Now what I do is I take my apples after I get them peeled. I cut them in half. And then I cut them in half again. Which means I quartered them. Alright, then I take a little piece of skin that's left on there. And I take it off. Just a little bit, and I take the little piece out of the center off, and then I take and I cut mine into 3 little pieces, into 3 little cubes. Okay, so I have cubed up my apple. All right, now we're gonna put this in this big old wash pan, and we're gonna cook our apples down. When they start getting down so far, I will come back. Alright, so I put all my apples in this pan, in this wash tub, or dish pan. And I added, I don't really know how many cups this was, how many pounds this was. I just kindly go off of feel. Actually, I go off of taste, not feel. But anyway, I am cooking these down. I added probably added about 3 cups of water to all my apples. I had a bunch of apples. Look here, I'll show y'all how many apples I had. Okay, this bag right here was full all the way to the top. Huge, great, big old bunch of apples. Now these apples that are in here, I'm going to dehydrate for apple pies because they last a little bit longer, and it'll last us through the winter and later on into the summer for our apple pies. Fried apple pies are so good, y'all. It's a southern thing. Alright, so we're cooking this down, and when all of it gets tender enough for me to use my immersion blender, we're going to take that and we're going to mix it up, and then we'll add our sugar, our cinnamon, and our cloves then. And I just add it and I taste it. I add it and I taste it. I add it and I taste it. And that way you get it as sweet as you want it and as flavorful as you want it. Now obviously when you can this, it is going to taste so much better when you get it open later on, like in 2 or 3 weeks. It's going to be delicious. So I'll be right back. Alright, So I have this turned down on a medium-low heat. And it is about, I'm going to make sure that all my apple is soft. And it seems to be crushing up rather easily with my potato masher. So, I'm going to go ahead and start. I would say, let me see, I had a half a bushel of apples. I would say that I used probably 3/4 of a half a bushel. Alright, so we are going to start out with 4 teaspoons of cinnamon. One. And to be honest with you, I think it's going to take probably that much more. Okay, so there's 8 teaspoons of cinnamon. Boy, that smells so good. I'm going to go ahead and turn this almost off. Now, I did put water in here, but it seems like they kind of like cooked down. Alright, now we have our crushed or ground cloves. I usually use crushed. I mean, it doesn't matter, it's the same cotton picking thing. Alright, so what we are going to do here is we are going to use 1 teaspoon. We may have to use a little more, but we're going to start out with 1 teaspoon. Y'all, I wish y'all could smell this. A spoon, because here's where comes the taste testing. Like I said, I never measure anything whenever I'm making apple butter, usually because I make it in different size batches. The ball book says to use 4 pounds of tomato, goodness gracious, 4 pounds of apples. Goodness gracious. Alright, so I'm going to try this. This has no sugar in it yet. Okay, so I need just a little bit more cloves. Now, a little cloves goes a long way, and I probably put maybe a half of a teaspoon in there. Alright, now I'm fixing to add my sugar. But first, I'm going to run my immersion blender through here, because it's still kind of chunky, and we want to get most of the chunks out. I hope this isn't too loud. Oh, I just think it's so pretty when you start doing it. Let me see if I can let y'all see. See how beautiful that is? That is so pretty. Y'all sit back down here. run offline or off camera for this. Alright, let me stir it up and see if I see any more chunks. And if I see chunks of apple still in there, what I will do is I will do this again. And I do see a few. So I will go off camera and I'll finish this up, and when it gets smooth, I'll come back. Be right back. Alright, so I don't see any more lumps in there. So I'm done with my immersion blender. And I'm gonna run some water over it. Alright, so now I am guesstimating. See, this is where you're supposed to take your apples out and measure them so you know how much sugar to put in there. I'm not about all that, y'all. I know how sweet apple butter is supposed to be, and if you've ever had apple butter, then you do too. It's not supposed to be overly sweet, and it's not supposed to be bitter. Alright. So, we are going to start out with 1, 2, 3 cups. We'll start out with 3 cups, and actually I should have got my whisk. It's alright. We'll stir it with a spoon. Y'all, this stuff smells so good. I don't know, I know a lot of people like apple butter. I love apple butter. I actually am ashamed at how much I do of it. Me and my daughter was talking today, and I told her, Lillian, I could go through a whole loaf of bread making toast and eating apple butter in 2 days if I just let myself. And she said, Mama, she said, I can go through a whole pan of biscuits and a whole jar in 2 days. She said, well, I'm not really gonna lie to you, I could probably do it in 1. Me too, child, me too. So we really like our apple butter. She's then already put in her order. She says, I get some of that, don't I? And she moved over to her brother's yard, actually. I'm thankful. Kids used to be really close when they were kids, and I'm thankful that they still are. Right, here comes the taste test. I'm gonna rub. Look how beautiful, y'all. I just want y'all to see how silky this is. Let me set my spoon back down. It's so silky, y'all. Look at that. Ain't that beautiful? It is gorgeous. I love apple butter. Alright, now we're going to taste test this again. How I taste test is I just run the back of my spoon over it. See? That's it. Well, that and it cools down a little faster. Let me wash my spoon and get a spoonful. Alright, so that wasn't a good enough taste. Man, I tell y'all what now. It needs a little more sugar. But not much. Maybe another cup. This was a lot of apples now. A lot. So you still want to have a little bit of tartness, but not a lot. Alright, I'm going to have to move that because I'm going to have to bring my canner over here. Now you do have to water bath apple butter. You're supposed to water bath it for 10 minutes when it reaches a full boil. And you're supposed to cover your jars completely, perhaps an inch above the lid. Alright, that looks stirred up to me. And this is perfect. That's it. Y'all, I wish that y'all could taste how good this stuff is. Alright, well, I'm going to get my jars ready. And I'm going to get my pressure canner out here. I'm not going to use the pressure canner as a pressure canner. I'm going to use it as a water bath. But I'm going to get my jars ready while this stays hot. My jar's ready, and we'll be right back. Alright, so we got this hot apple butter. And I've got my jars over here and some hot water. Got my lids right here and some hot water. These jars are hot. Right, now water bathing things is one of the most easiest things that you can do. And that's what you do with apple butter. You water bath it. You just have to have a pot that is big enough to cover your jars in your pot. We're going to fill our hot jars up with hot apple butter. Make sure to leave your headspace. Alright, so I got my washcloth here with some vinegar on it, apple cider vinegar. 5%. Lay that down. We're going to get our rings out and our lids that have been soaking in hot water. Nine pints of apple butter. And it hasn't come up to a boil yet, but you can see it's hot. So when this comes to a boil, I'm going to put the lid on it, not on it, but I'm going to cover it and let it boil for 10 minutes. Alright, it's been at a hard boil for roughly 10 minutes. And I'm taking them out. And I'm setting them down, making sure to leave space where they can cool properly and equally. I thought that y'all could see, but maybe not. Oh, so beautiful. Now I got 9 pints of apple butter. I'm just getting the water off the top of the jars. It's not necessary. You don't have to. You do not have to. But I'm doing. Alright. I'm all done. Now, when these cool, they will all tink, 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 tink. And I do not disturb my jars for at least until tomorrow morning. And it's like almost 5 o'clock tonight, right now. So I have got to get outside and take care of my critters. But I'll show y'all the apple butter that I canned yesterday. Is my husband home? No. The goats are out there. Alright. So y'all, I've been drying my herbs. And I love basil. It's probably one of my favorite herbs. No crap. It's probably one of my favorites. Oh! And this is actually the seed pods. See, here's a little tidbit in this video. You can cut your seeds off of your plant and it will not start dying. When you have an herb and it puts off seed, usually it dies immediately after. So, anyway, here we are. Is that not beautiful? It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I love apple butter. I love it a lot, actually. And I might be doing some, I have a lot of pecans and walnuts. And I might be doing like some praline syrup and some maple walnut. We'll see if I can find some maple syrup that's half decent in price. We might do that. But anyway, I love you guys. I'm going to get off here. I'm going to get outside and take care of all these critters. And I will see y'all later. Bye-bye.